All right, so get this. We're going to be looking at facial recognition technology,
Oh, yeah.
but not just like, the kind of thing you see at airports. We're talking about the NFL. They want to use it in stadiums.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? They're not just thinking about using it for fans,
Yeah.
but they're also thinking about it for people who work in the stadiums.
Yeah, and not just like concession workers,
Right, like security personnel.
police officers.
Yeah, and the police union is not happy about this.
So imagine this, right? You show up for your security shift at the stadium,
Oh.
and they're like, hold on, we need a scan of your face before you can start.
Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of a head-on collision, isn't it, between security needs and individual privacy.
Yeah, I think a lot of police officers would say, wait a second, why am I being treated like a suspect?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm here to protect people.
Right.
Now the NFL is saying, look, the old school ID badges, too easy to fake. We want to tighten up security, especially for places like locker rooms, control
A
rooms.
sensitive area.
Yeah, all that stuff. And they've got this company, Wicket,
Uh,
that's going to provide the technology.
Now, Wicked's a newcomer to the scene, right? But they've already got some big clients. The Mets, Tennessee Titans.
So this isn't some rinky-dink operation.
No, this is this is the big time.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, is this the beginning of something much bigger?
Yeah, is this the wave of the future? We're going to see this everywhere.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. The police union is pushing back hard against this whole plan.
Oh, yeah.
And I gotta say, after reading through some of these proposed terms, I can see why they're so concerned.
They're really concerned. I mean, they're asking officers to agree to some things. That I don't think many people would be comfortable with.
I mean, like what? Sharing their facial scans with third parties?
Uh-huh.
Keeping those scans on file for up to 3 years?
Yeah.
And get this, they want zero liability if there's a data breach.
No kidding. Can you imagine?
I mean, if I were a police officer, I would not sign that waiver.
Absolutely not. That's a huge red flag.
Yeah. What if that data falls into the wrong hands?
Right. I mean, we're talking about biometric data here. Facial features, fingerprints, iris scans. It's incredibly sensitive. Once it's out there, it's out there.
You can't just change your face like you can change a password.
Exactly. The risks are huge. Identity theft.
Mm.
Keeping your systems safe is super important as businesses rely more and more on digital systems, and that's where turnkey cybersecurity can really help.
Yeah, we're here to help small businesses just like yours make sure they're safe and sound in this crazy world of cybersecurity. And we offer a whole suite of services specifically tailored for you. So that's ensuring CMMC compliance and doing penetration testing. We also run vulnerability scans, and we can help you develop a comprehensive risk assessment.
And it doesn't stop there, right?
No, it doesn't.
We handle incident response, should the unfortunate happen, and we guide you through migrations like GCC. We just want to make sure your transitions are smooth and that you're secure.
It's all about peace of mind, right? You focus on what you do best, running your business, and we'll make sure that your digital world is safe and sound.
Tracking, targeted attacks, organized crime.
So it's a high-stakes standoff, right? NFL wants tighter security. The police union's raising privacy and liability concerns. What happens next? I mean, if they can't reach an agreement,
Yeah,
could stadiums actually end up being less safe?
it's a real possibility. I mean, if they lose the expertise of police officers, who's going to be providing security?
Right. It's like they're trying to solve one problem, but they might be creating a whole bunch of new ones.
Exactly.
And the thing is, this isn't just an NFL problem.
No, not at all. It's a much bigger issue. The lack of clear regulations around biometric data, this is something we're seeing everywhere.
So this case with the NFL could set a precedent if they get their way.
Right. Other organizations might try to do the same thing.
Push through these kinds of policies without any real protections in place.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope for sure.
So, okay, we've got this battle brewing, NFL versus the police union.
Huh?
And it's raising all these questions
questions.
about data security and privacy, questions that go way beyond football.
This is about all of us.
Yeah.
And how we balance security and privacy in this digital age.
Really is.
Really is. We've been talking about facial recognition in NFL stadiums. And I feel like we're just scratching the surface here.
Yeah, it's bigger than just football, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's about all of us.
Because more and more companies, they're looking to use this technology.
Exactly. What happens with this case, with the NFL and the police union, it could set a precedent, not just for other venues, but for other industries too.
And the questions we're talking about: consent, data security, what they can do with our information. These are questions we should be asking about ANAY technology.
Right, especially when it comes to our personal data.
Okay, so where do we go from here? Is there a way out of this fight between the NFL and the police?
Well, one option is for the NFL to back down a bit.
On some of those terms in the proposal.
Exactly.
Like maybe stronger liability protections, being more open about how the data will be used,
Right.
and maybe not keeping the scams for so long.
Exactly. I mean, if they
Yeah.
want the police to cooperate, they have to take those concerns seriously.
And it's not just about the police union either. It's about showing everyone, the fans included, that they're serious about ethical data practices.
Absolutely.
Is there another way forward?
Well, we could see stricter regulations around biometric data.
In general,
Yeah, I mean, we need clearer rules.
about how they collect it, store it, use it.
Right. And real consequences if those rules are broken.
Because right now, companies can kind of do whatever they want.
Well, we are seeing some progress.
Really?
Yeah, several states have passed biometric privacy laws.
Okay.
And there's a lot of talk about a federal law, too.
Well, that's good. Because we can't rely on companies to police themselves.
Especially not when it comes to something as sensitive as our biometric information.
Okay, let's say you're that officer working security at an NFL game. You're not happy about this new policy. What can you do?
Well, first of all, know your rights.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to speak up.
And the union?
The union can be a powerful tool, absolutely. They're actively negotiating with the NFL right now.
So what about the fans? Do they have any say in this?
Well, never hurts to ask.
Can they opt out of the facial scans?
In a lot of cases, unfortunately, no. It's take it or leave it. You either accept the surveillance or you don't get to go to the game.
Which is why we need to talk about this stuff. Raise awareness.
Yes, absolutely.
Push for more transparency, more consumer choice.
We need to be informed and engaged, demand better protections, hold those companies accountable.
You know, this whole situation has got me thinking about my own digital footprint.
Yeah.
What can I do to protect my privacy? Because it feels like data collection is everywhere.
It is, but there are some practical steps you can take. Well, be careful what you share online.
Okay.
Take a look at your privacy settings on social media.
Okay.
Limit the amount of personal information that's public.
Less is more.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And be careful about those apps and websites, the ones that want access to your contacts, your location. Ask yourself, do they really need that information?
I'm so guilty of just clicking agree without even reading.
Oh, we all do it.
But I gotta be more careful.
We all do. It's easy to just click through.
Yeah.
But we should take the time to understand, what are we actually agreeing to?
So those are some things I can do personally, but what about the bigger picture? What needs to happen at a societal level?
That's where things get really interesting.
Mm.
Because this goes beyond individual responsibility.
Okay.
We need systemic change.
We've been talking about how to protect ourselves,
Yeah.
but I want to zoom out a little. What if we don't push back on all this data collection?
It's a slippery slope.
What kind of world are we creating?
I mean, it's a fundamental shift, isn't it? The balance of power between individuals and these big institutions. Well, it used to be that surveillance was limited.
Like physically limited.
Yeah, cameras on the street.
Okay.
But now, with facial recognition, with all these other technologies, we're being tracked everywhere we go.
But we might not even know it.
Right, like leaving little digital breadcrumbs everywhere you go.
It is kind of creepy when you think about it.
And all those breadcrumbs, they paint a picture
Of who we are.
of who you are, what you do, where you go.
And they can use that information to predict our behavior.
Oh, absolutely. Target you with ads, influence your decisions.
It's like that sci-fi movie where the computers are in charge.
Yeah, the line between science fiction and reality. It's getting blurry.
So we're building this, what is it, a surveillance economy?
Yeah, that's what they're calling it.
Where our data is the most valuable thing.
The most valuable commodity.
And who benefits from that?
It's not the average person, that's for sure.
So the worst case scenario is that we end up in this world where a few powerful companies, governments, they control our lives through the data they have on us.
It's a dystopian vision, isn't it?
It is, but can we do anything about it? Can we reclaim our privacy?
It's a huge challenge.
Yeah.
But I do believe it's possible.
How?
I think we need a wake-up call. We need to realize that our data has value. And we have a right to control how it's used.
So it starts with awareness.
Awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And demanding more transparency from these companies.
And holding them accountable.
Absolutely. We need strong privacy laws.
I'll put people first.
Exactly, not corporate interests.
And I think we need to get smarter about technology, digital literacy, right?
Yeah, we need to understand how it works.
So we can make informed choices about our data.
It's about taking back control, not just passively accepting whatever new technology comes along.
It's easy to get overwhelmed by all this, but I want to believe there's a better way.
Me too.
Can we have security A&D privacy?
I think so.
Really?
But it requires a different way of thinking. We have to stop seeing them as opposites.
Security versus privacy.
Right. It's not an either.
So maybe instead of relying only on facial recognition, which has all those privacy problems, we explore other security measures.
Ones that are less intrusive.
Exactly.
I mean, there's some interesting stuff happening. Privacy-preserving machine learning, for example.
Okay.
Decentralized identity systems.
Well, what are those?
Ways to verify your identity without giving up control of your data.
So it's not about rejecting technology altogether.
No, not at all.
It's about using it thoughtfully,
Intentionally, responsibly.
building a future where technology works for us.
Not the other way around.
That's a great way to put it.
We have the power to shape that future.
It's not preordained.
No, we have choices to make.
This has been a really great conversation.
I've enjoyed it.
I feel like I've learned a lot. So if there's one thing you want our listeners to take away from all this, what would it be?
I'd say this. We all have a role to play. This isn't just about the NFL, it's about all of us.
It's about the future of data privacy.
Exactly.
So we need to stay informed.
Stay engaged.
Ask tough questions.
Demand better from the companies we do business with.
Support policies that protect our rights.
Our data is valuable, our privacy is precious, and our future is worth fighting for.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So to our listeners, keep digging into these issues. Learn about data privacy, learn about the technology, and most importantly, make your voices heard.
The future isn't set in stone. We can shape it together.
That's a great note to end on. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged.